Let's talk about perfect tenses. There are perfect tenses in the past, present, and future. And all three of those tenses can be simple or continuous. The first one they normally teach you about is the present perfect. So let's start with the present perfect simple. The present perfect simple is formed with the modal verb have or has in third person plus the main verb in past participle. So when do we use the present perfect simple? We use the present perfect simple when we talk about events or situations that started in the past and are still true. I have lived in Spain for 10 years, but I have been English since I was born. We also use the present perfect simple when we are talking about the present, the current effects of something that happened in the past. I can't get into the office because I haven't brought my keys with me. Of course he looks thinner. He's lost 30 kilos. We also use the present perfect simple to talk about something that has happened recently. So when we introduce a news story, for example, when we're telling you new information. Have you seen the news? There's been an earthquake in... Best not jinx it. One more use for the present perfect simple that all those other mediocre teachers forget to tell you about is this kind of use. It's kind of like the subjunctive if you speak Spanish or one of those other languages that might use the subjunctive. Well, anyway, it's to talk about something that will happen at some time in the future. Let's see an example. I can't speak to you yet because I haven't finished my work yet, but here it comes. I will phone you when I have finished. Now that might not sound too different to the things I've already explained if you're a native English speaker, but believe me, that is actually quite complicated to understand, at least for Spanish speakers, because they have a subjunctive tense there. I've gone off on a tangent.
Not good. Believe me, not good.
Present, perfect, continuous. The present perfect continuous is formed once again using have or has in the third person and then applying the verb be in its past participle form, been, and the main verb in the present participle with ing at the end.
I've been waiting for you, Patrick.
I've been making this video for days. So when do we use the present perfect continuous? Often it's synonymous with the present perfect simple. So instead of saying, like I did before, I have lived in Spain for 10 years, I can say, I have been living in Spain for 10 years. The main reasons for using the present perfect continuous, though, are as follows. To stress how long something has been happening. Where have you been? I've been waiting here for hours. To talk about something that has recently finished. What have you been doing? I've been revising for my English exam, but I think I've finished now. To talk about an action that continues, something that is ongoing. I've been working out a lot in the gym recently. I think you can tell that I've been working out a lot in the gym recently.
So that every day when I go to sleep, every day when I wake up, I look at those pictures and they motivate me.
So yeah, with the present perfect continuous, particularly with those last 2 points, when it's to talk about something that has recently finished or when it's to talk about something that is ongoing, often we can see the effects. So I can see your eyes are red. I'll say, have you been crying? Yes, I've been crying. Past. Perfect. Simple. The past perfect simple is formed with had, so the past of have, plus the past participle of the main verb. We use the past perfect simple to talk about what happened prior to a moment in the past. By the time I got to the cinema, the film had already started. I couldn't take your call before because I hadn't finished my lunch. That's how little I care. Had you been abroad before you went on holiday to France last year? Past perfect continuous. Just as in the present perfect continuous, we want to stress how long something has been happening. I've been making this video for days. In the past perfect continuous, well, we want to stress how long something had been happening at a certain point in time in the past. I had been trying to get through for over an hour when they finally answered my call. So the structure for the past perfect continuous is had plus been plus the present participle with ing. He couldn't get a passport because he hadn't been living there long enough.
Computer says no.
Future perfect simple.
The structure of future perfect simple is with the modal will or won't in negative plus have plus the past participle. So we use the future perfect simple to say what will have happened by a given time in the future. By this time next year, I will have gained 1 million subscribers. The rate you're working at, you won't have finished by the end of the class.
A very, very lazy student.
And so finally we come to the future perfect continuous. So you can probably guess the structure for future perfect continuous now, but here goes. We make future perfect continuous sentences with will plus have plus been plus the verb in present participle. And why and when do we use the future perfect continuous? Well, it's to say how long something will have been happening for by a time in the future. Let's see a couple of examples. Come June 17th, I will have been living in Spain for 10 years.
Interesting.
Next year, he will have been working for our company for 30 years. And that's it, we finished. We've spoken about the present perfect simple and continuous, the past perfect simple and continuous, and the future perfect simple and continuous. And I'm tired.